Welcome back to Perspectives here on Arise News. Today's topic is very sweet too. The issue of husband snatching reared its head recently when a blogger, who is one of our guests today, actually gave her stamp of approval for women to snatch husbands whose wives are not taking care of them well enough. Truth is though, many men do not leave their wives for mistresses, talk less of side chicks. That's not to say it doesn't happen. It does, but rarely so. This is simply because not only does society condone it, cheating is nothing new, which is why many men do not see the need to sacrifice their marriages for this habit. For most men, public image and perception of a respected family man is sacrosanct to them, so they stay glued to their wives and keep the mistresses or side chicks simply because they can. Mistresses provide men with the attention and excitement they crave, as well as the sexual satisfaction that may be lacking in their marriage. While some men may view their mistresses as nothing more than a sexual partner, others form deep emotional attachments to them. There can be a range of reasons why a man might become obsessed with a particular woman. It could be due to her physical appearance, her personality, what she represents in his life, or simply the excitement and challenge of pursuing her. Men thrive on juggling their lives and sharing their time between their families and their secret affairs. They would always want to continue enjoying the best of both worlds, and as long as they can get away with it, they will continue to do so. We pause at this point to take a look at this next report that offers an interesting perspective on the subject of husband snatching. Do join us again soon.
Yes, I do.
Marriage, the union of two people in love, the declaration of love and devotion to your partner, affirming a lifelong commitment, is something majority of people wish to experience in their lifetime. Marriage can offer wonderful benefits for well-being, life satisfaction, and stress management, but no relationship is without its challenges. The common problems of marriage can put a strain on a couple, but there is a choice on how to handle these issues. Problems in marriage range from money, childcare issues, busy schedules, poor communication, and the list goes on. But one of the most talked about issues that derails some marriages is infidelity. A lot of questions arise to why people cheat on their partners. Some cite anger, low self-esteem, lack of love, low commitment, need for variety, neglect, sexual desires, amongst other factors. This can cause frustration in marriage, which is a common trigger to why people explore other options in their desire to find happiness. There are many reasons that can cause a couple to drift apart, but nothing can be as excruciating as unfaithfulness in marriage. Today on Perspectives, we will be discussing the different reasons people cheat on their partners, the rising rate of infidelity in marriages, and what couples can do to rebuild the relationship.
That's very interesting. We're heading for a short break, but stay with us because when we come back, it will be time to meet our guests, Enahoro Okai and Blessing Okoro Nkiruka, popularly known as Blessing CEO. Perspectives will return in just a moment. Welcome back here to Perspectives. We have two guests with us, and one of the first one is Enahoro Okai, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Post Factory, a management consultant company, as well as the CEO of GIG Mobility, Nigeria's biggest road transport company. And now also trains and certifies people to become emotionally intelligent and make them professionals and coaches in this field. He is a certified life coach and mentors more than 300 women in an organized group called the EQ Empowered Women. His foray into this has given him an in-depth study about relationships and how best to manage them to achieve the best results for all parties involved. Welcome, Enahoro.
Thank you very much, Ruth. So excited to be here. Thank you.
But you won't be alone, as we have also joining us Blessing Okoro Nkiruka, popularly known as Blessing CEO, who is a relationship counseling expert and a social media personality and influencer. She is prominently known for advising young Nigerians on relationships, dating, sex, and divorce. She achieves this through platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and her blog, Break or Make Up Relationships. She is also an Instagram influencer and a content creator. Her contents are a variety of articles, comments, and reactions to issues or topics related to the personal life of individuals, or in most cases, they come as advice for the younger generation who are believed to be the leaders of tomorrow. Great to have you here as well, too.
Thank you very much.
Blessing CEO. You said you don't say today topic. Oh my goodness. Of course, you created a lot of controversy recently with your statements where you say you actually give women the right to go out and snatch people's husbands. So I don't know whether that was intentionally done because you love controversy or whether you actually believe in it. Because one thing I have to ask is that if a free chick or a side chick or a mistress gives a man all the pleasure he wants before he gets home, why would he want to rock the boat by sacrificing the marriage for the woman outside?
A lot of men want to eat their cake and have it back.
Who? A lot of men?
Yes, and the fact is most men do not marry for love. They marry for different reasons. So when you get into the marriage, stay a few years, go out there, it's now okay, I've seen my spec. Some men just marry because they are ready at that point in time. So any available woman at that point in time is who they want to get married to. But along the line, they fall in love with their side chicks.
Side chicks or mistresses? Because I think there's a difference.
Side chick and mistress is the same thing. We're just using different language.
Well, but I was with a lot of men the other evening, and maybe you can get into this too, Enaro, where when I brought up the issue, because of course I discussed your matter before I came on air, and they made it blatantly clear that a mistress is different from a side chick. A mistress they can buy a house for. A mistress can have a child from them. A side chick is almost like a fling, and that there's a difference between both. What's your take on that?
All right, I'm hearing that for the first time.
Yeah, they tell me because they said that a mistress is almost like a wife.
I've never had to think about such issue like that. What I am very, very clear about is that men are married, and they could have somebody outside that they are dating. Now, the categorization of such person into mistress and side chick, I've never had to hear that. However,
are you not in this town?
Yeah, but this person, the man is dating, is not his wife, right?
And we know that already.
Okay, so whatever category we put them in, I'm sure the word side chick is even prevalent today because of the word. Trends come up. Maybe in another 1 year time, another 2 years time, the word side chick will become another phrase.
Well, men just tell me that anyway, they will spend more on the mistress because the mistress has been there for years.
Okay.
The mistress has been with them, the mistress knows them, and blah, blah, blah. Which is what I said whilst I was talking, when I was making my intro, that some of them have invested emotions and time and monies into these relationships. Whereas with side chicks, not that I'm not judging whether one is better than the other. I'm just saying that men tend to categorize.
I think what I can use in buttressing what you're saying is if a man has been with another lady outside marriage for a long time and they've spent share memories together, then obviously he will be more vested in that person maybe than another one that he meets and would not be as serious as. But if we look at that, we're even looking at 3 categories right now: the wife, the mistress, and the side chick. That man is very busy.
But do you also think that women in society today, women are enablers of sorts to an extent, because some women will tell you, as long as I don't see, as long as I don't hear, what you do outside our marriage is your business. Do you think that this attitude also enables men and gives them courage to want to?
I think this is an issue of a chicken and an egg situation. Which one happened first? when a woman realizes that the husband is a serial cheat, for example, or realizes that the husband is having somebody outside, after a while, because of what she wants, and she cannot overpower the man, depending on the strength of the woman. I'm dealing with an issue right now where
the strength of the woman inside or the woman outside?
The strength of the woman inside. I'm dealing with an issue right now where we have decided that, me and the client, we have decided that you don't.
Who is your client? The woman.
The woman.
The
right?
married woman.
The married one, yeah. Because the husband's got a side chick, right, or a mistress, whatever, and she's very vested. He's very vested in the woman. In the coaching session, we have decided that, you know what? There's only one thing you need from this man now, which is a child, right? Because unfortunately, this situation we don't have yet. And if you continue to fight, if you continue to, fight with the man because of there's a mistress outside, you probably would never even get what you want, because sex is already terrible between them. But if you are able to manage yourself, you understand, to continue to have that romantic situation, you probably would have the child that you want. After that, you can then open another chapter to say what you want. Now, is this woman enabling? No. If this woman now keeps quiet and say he should just push everything away from me, I don't want to see anything that he's doing with side chick, it doesn't mean she has enabled. She's just found a coping mechanism for a goal.
But isn't even the enablement a coping mechanism? Because how many women are you going to fight? He has this one, you fight. He has that one, you fight. Speaking of which, my dear Blessing, I want to call you in before we sidetrack. Do you think, there are some women who, when they find out that their men have side chicks outside or have mistresses outside, they go and attack the woman outside and hope that that attack will ward or keep the woman away from the husband. Blessing, I want to ask you, how do you think this works? Do you think that's the right approach?
It doesn't work. I even tell most of my female clients when they come for therapy, I tell them that's the most stupid thing to do.
Attacking the woman outside? Attacking
a mistress or a side chick is belittling yourself. The only time you can attack her is if she comes to your territory, she knocks at your door. But so long as she's outside, your husband went to meet her. It's consensual. It's not like he forced her or something. So you're going to fight another woman because your husband is sleeping with her. That's the most childish. You know what? There's what we call boundaries.
What advice that women do then in such situations, especially if it's affecting the marriage?
There's some certain things you don't have power over. You don't have power over a man cheating or not cheating. It's a choice. A man can wake up one day and tell you that I'm not more interested in the marriage. And you ask him why, he'll tell you nothing. He's just tired. That's the truth. So the same way he chose you is the same way he chose the next person. I remember I said something. People marry for different reasons. People marry for benefits. For example, let's look at the women right now. If you see the popular demand, you see a lot of women saying, if he doesn't have money, I want to lead baby girl life, I want to do that one. Then when they get it, they are not still satisfied. They now see that they want attention. They want the man to be at home 24 hours. Do you understand? So now that benefit, now they've gotten it, but they are beginning to drift away from the marriage. So I think all this snatching, no snatching husband is the fact that a lot of people marry for the wrong reasons. That's just.
But now that you say that a lot of people marry for the wrong reasons, I think that to a certain extent, marriage itself is not an easy road. It's a continuous effort. By the time you're married 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I mean, for most men that have side chicks do that because, the woman has a sexy body, or I reckon it to like wearing stiletto heels, which you find very sexy. And maybe marriages are like comfortable sneakers. Do you understand? And you find that in such cases, no matter what the woman does, even if she swings from a chandelier, some men are just naturally unfaithful.
That's exactly what we're saying. Men are not naturally
But that doesn't now mean that the man wants to leave his wife and his children for the woman outside.
No man is naturally unfaithful. Like I said, if you speak to a lot of men, for me, as a relationship expert, when they come, I ask them, why do you cheat on your wives?
And what do they say?
Some of them say, for ego.
Okay,
it makes
so
them feel, it makes them feel important. If a group of men are seated right now and you tell them that you are faithful to your wife, you're a Jew man. Yes, that's the truth. Just like when we were in secondary school, I can remember myself when people are gisting, like as senior students. Sometimes I will have to paint, I'll have to paint a bad girl picture just to be in that mist so that they can be comfortable spilling those things with me. So a lot of men cheat for ego, they cheat for fun, not because they don't love their wives, not because their wives are not shapey. It's just the lawlessness of this country that gives them that criteria.
Yeah, I think
if they do it abroad, they know
and they
now.
get half.
Yeah. If I remain abroad, I'm not happy. Please cheat.
What's your take on this?
Further, we also establish the fact that men that do this are men that do not have confidence and control over themselves.
I don't agree with that.
And let me explain.
I think I tend to agree with
Let me explain. Why would a man go into cheating because his friends are doing it? What are his values as a person? There are men who would have their own values. They would be in the midst of people who are drinking and they would not drink. There are men who will be in the midst of people who are smoking and they will not smoke. So this comes back to the strength of the man.
And now,
you understand? No. Are you saying that every man?
What you're saying is textbook.
Yes.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic. It's not the reality of
You are telling us how it's supposed to be.
So let's understand that no matter how terrible the ideal,
not faithful to their partners.
Let's establish that no matter how terrible the ideal can be, there is the ideal.
Of course there is.
It's important for us to establish, because there's a way we can have this. Thank you. They can be in the minority, but let's not use what is prevalent to wash away the fact that there's an ideal.
No, but when you do statistics, when you do things based on statistics, your conclusion is based on the majority.
So we can say that a lot of men, a lot of men are able to find themselves in extramarital affairs because of several reasons, and friendship is one of the reasons.
No, apart from that, they can also get away with it. Society condones it.
Get away with it. Of course,
society condones it.
I don't have any argument about that.
I've had situations. I've had situations where a man comes with his wife. Maybe they've just come in from abroad, where such things are basically not tolerated, and he finds himself, just as you said, going with the flow. The things he could have done, he could not ever try if he was living abroad or in a country where they take half. He tries it here.
Yeah, there's no disputing that fact.
So let's get that one first.
No, that's very
We know
clear.
these things exist, and we know that they do it.
Yeah.
But the thing about us is that we are hypocritical. The men are hypocritical because we live in a world where perception
It's not even
very
hypocritical.
important.
That's the word. The fact is, put the consequences to cheating. Say, okay, the law states that if a man cheats on his wife, he's going to be spending 20 years in jail. You will see that men can be faithful. When there is no penalty or there is no consequence, you can do anything you like. It's we the women that have the penalty because we are the ones that are supposed to be faithful. That's the mindset.
The sad thing is that even when you go to court, it doesn't even really favor you.
That's what I'm saying. There's no law. So that's why I said there are some situations that you cannot control. If the man is providing me, I used to tell the men I date, I don't want to catch you because I love smart men. So if I catch you cheating, it simply means you're not smart, you're stupid.
Yeah, but you're saying I don't want to catch you means that you've accepted that they do it. And you're ready to live with it.
No, you don't understand something. Until you see something, automatically you're not doing it.
Okay, speaking of which, I want to ask you, Manahoro, there was this scenario which I was discussing with you earlier, where there was a man who was a government official, and you know how I didn't say all, you know how some of these government officials are, they have a lot of money siphoned away that is not known to the public generally. Yeah. Anyway, this man had been dating this mistress for a long time. It was in the news. And he dies. And as far as the wife knows, he had ABCD. The mistress now goes to the wife and says, come on, your husband had, apart from ABCD, he had EFGH, whatever, which apparently ran into billions. Let's split. The wife refuses, and the mistress goes to EFCC and reports the case, and the properties were now seized. Now, in your case, a woman comes to you with that kind of predicament and says, my husband's mistress has come to make me aware of so and so, and she wants to split. What would you advise her to do?
So the first thing is always going to be, what are the scenarios? So in this particular scenario, if you don't know about these properties outside, right, you would never have had a share in it.
Yeah, but you know about it.
But now you know about it. In terms of rights, if EFCC was not going to be in this situation, you have rights to everything. But now there's a critical case. What's the critical case? EFCC, from what you said, siphon. So EFCC can see all of this and
but
go
my
away
point
with
is,
it.
don't focus
as
on
a
EFCC.
woman. Yeah.
I'm talking about the woman herself. A wife that the mistress has come to meet you, where you're going to get a few extra billions. Just give me something. Why won't you give her and keep the money?
It will be wisdom. It will be wisdom of the side of the married person to say, okay, this is going to be something that we would share. But look at this from this scenario. What if this married person, this married woman has enough, and she would never want that mistress to have a part of what the husband had, because in her mind, you've already taken my husband in the first place. So if this woman has billions in her account and she doesn't give a damn about what the husband left, she could say, I don't want.
But she gave a damn because she wanted to keep the money. She didn't want to share it.
And then she loses everything because EFCC comes in. So again, a woman, her personality, her character, what she has, her assets, her wants, her irritation about the man, her new discovery will determine. Some women will share that thing because they will say, what the hell? What kind of stupid man is that? So you've been cheating on me. Madam, you cuckoo have been enjoying it before. Let's share. Some women will do that. Another woman with enough to say, you've been taking part of my husband's property, you won't have it.
No, we are going on break. When you come back, because I know you, bless you, will have something to say. Then we're going on break soon. Please don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Perspectives. And now, you said something about emotional intelligence, but before we go there, Madam B, if now you one woman come meet, say your husband gets so billions, and she's aware of it, or make we share this matter, what would you do? Ask the wife.
I'm not even going to share with the wife.
What would you do?
There's something people don't understand. As a side chick, you do a lot of jobs. So many work side chicks.
No, but this was a real life scenario.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So she has earned the property that she has. I'm trying to tell you.
Are you saying you won't tell the wife about it?
I can't tell the wife because I was helping your husband. Without me in the picture, your husband would have thrown you out. I'm doing a job. That's what people don't understand.
So was it wrong of her to have gone?
It was wrong of her to have gone.
She should have just sat on the whole
Yes, because if I'm the wife to the lady, I would do the same thing, because I'm going to feel like you've collected my husband. Now you want to collect his wealth. So a side chick does not supposed to have that audacity to walk up to a wife. If I'm the wife, this one she even went to EFCC service more. I would have done worse.
No, it's not taking my EFCC.
That's what I'm saying. The both of us lost.
So both
but if the
lost.
side chick was smart enough, trust me, you don't know what these young girls do for this man. You don't know.
No, apart from not knowing, the truth of the matter is that what can you do? You can't be more than the best sex ever. You can't be more than swinging from the chandelier. You can't be more than
legally. Can the side chick go and collect the money legally?
No, but my point is that I know. We know side chicks exist. We are aware of their presence. We are aware of the role they play in men's lives and what have you. Now, let me even take it a step further. As a side chick, which is what I'm going to ask you to, if you have a child for a man, and the man has decided that he doesn't really want people to be aware of this child, but he provides for you, he takes care of the child and everything, would you go the extra mile to ensure that the family is aware of this child's presence?
I have, come again, the question.
Like for instance, if you have a child for a man, a married man, he provides for the child, he pays his school fees, he does everything for the child, but his family don't know, and he's not interested in letting his family know about it. As a side chick or as a mistress with this child, would you insist or would you ensure that the family is aware of the child's presence?
No.
So you are ready to
accept the father, and the father agrees. And the child have to grow up to be able to assimilate and understand. If you bring a child right now, you're married and another woman have a child for you and you bring it, there will be lots of chaos. But by the time the child would have grown, the woman would have aged, there will be nothing to fight for.
No, but you've heard of instances where children just appear from nowhere. When the man dies, they don't tell the children until the wives don't find out about the children until the man's death, and at the burial ground.
Those ones are gold diggers. When you say mistresses, let's get the difference. Mistress simply means I'm in love with you, but I have a wife and I can't marry you.
So as a mistress,
some men will now be like, okay, instead of just let's bond, let's have a child together. If I can't give you marriage, let there be something that ties us together. That's just it.
So you as a mistress, you can live with the fact that your child is hidden.
Yes, the only thing I need to know is I need to know the father's root. When he grows up, you can go to his father now.
But this also can affect the child now, mental health. Child's mental health on the long term.
There are lots of things that can affect our mental health. But unfortunately, I'm a realist. I like saying what happened, not what's supposed to be. There are some certain things that are supposed to be, but it is not. So let's face the reality and be able to deal with it. If you're a side chick and you have a child, and the man say, I don't want to bring this home, respect him. He's doing what he's supposed to do as a father. So he did not fail. The difference is, I don't want drama, I don't want chaos.
Yeah, chaos in my family.
Because if you come in now, there will be chaos, there will be drama, there will not be peace. Why not? Let me buy you a house.
When you met him, you knew he was married.
Yes, let me buy you a house, make you comfortable, make the child comfortable. He's my child, I know. One man would tell me he has a child outside. And I asked him, why haven't you told your wife? He said it's not the right time. That he wants the child to grow to a certain level. And he has just one child. So by then there will be no much chaos. The woman will not be able to. She has no choice.
I don't think whatever age you tell a man, your wife in the house about your child, that is going to make the pain any less. It's just that the man is probably not. When is the man ready to face that responsibility? Is what the question is.
The pain is,
the same. Whether the child is 5 years old or 10 years old or 30 years old, the shock of realization is still the same pain.
There is no shock. A lot of women who pretend they know their husbands are
no,
kids.
come on now. Let's bring you in. For instance, you're a guy.
Yeah.
Now, would you tell your wife in the house if you had a child outside?
These scenarios would always come back to the person. A man who understands the personality of the wife. Because I sit with this the same scenario, different people, different solutions. Right? You would find people who knows that if I take this child home and tell my wife that I have a child and I apologize and all of that, because of her personality, she will be able to manage. But another man, if you dare try it now, even the entire marriage, the children are home, the children outside, everything is gone.
Yeah.
So it will be dependent.
When you say gone, as in the woman would leave?
Oh, the woman can scatter the marriage. So many things can happen.
I don't think women really leave when their men have children outside.
You need to be able to understand now that in today's world, the knowledge,
even in today's world,
the legal issues, the knowledge of today's society,
even like
mothers are different.
Okay, let's
say something you don't understand about side chicks. A lot of wives underrate side chicks a lot. When they come to me, the first thing I say is,
who, the wives or the side chicks?
The wives. They come for counseling. The first thing I say is, don't be afraid of who your husband is sleeping with. Be afraid of who your husband is talking to.
Oh, okay.
Now, some marriages is just cohabitation. They are just roommates. They don't talk. So you see, now when a man now finds another woman that he can bond with, that he can... You need to see a lot of side chicks with people's husbands. To be very honest, you are. The man is happy when he's around her, but as soon as he gets home, there is chaos.
Yeah, but it's unfair to use that, because the truth of the matter is that when you're with a wife, you've been through the trials and tribulations. You cannot. There sometimes you take each other for granted.
No, women are not. A lot of wives are not willing to unlearn and
okay,
relearn.
but what about those who learn? What about those who make an effort? What about those who try to look good? What about those who try to understand their husbands? Because you cannot paint all women in the same brush.
It doesn't stop him from cheating.
It doesn't stop him from cheating, and it's not because of her he's cheating. Like you said, it can be an ego thing.
That's what you're saying. It doesn't stop him from cheating, but you will not know.
Yeah, but I'm saying the women whose husbands still cheat, even if all these women they're your friends, they're your partner, they're your lover, they do everything together, they know each other's businesses, because there are some good marriages, there are some good unions. You cannot paint all of them and say, oh, all men are bad. But unfortunately for Nigerian men, no matter, even if your wife is Princess Diana, do you understand, or Oprah Winfrey, or somebody who can stimulate you and hold your own, they still cheat. So in such cases, what do you do?
I don't think it's Nigerian men. I think it's men.
No.
I was just telling you about.
Nigerian men are the worst.
I was just telling you about
Nigerian men are
how
the worst.
emotional intelligence came to be, right?
Okay, hey, you were talking about emotional intelligence.
And the root of emotional intelligence is a relationship between a man and a side chick. Gary Hart was going to become the president of America, right? He was on the campaign train. He was campaigning, and then the journalist realized that he has a side chick. And then they asked him about it. How's your marriage doing? And then he said to them, follow me with your cameras. Means if you can catch me, then you know what you're doing. And then truly they followed him with his cameras. And a few days after, they found him on an island with a side chick. They took that picture, put it in the tabloids, and boom, everything got scattered. He had to stop the campaign and he stepped down.
Can I just ask you one question?
Yeah.
if they follow a Nigerian, let's hear this one, I beg. If they follow a Nigerian politician with a camera and find him with a side chick, do you think that's going to affect his chances of
So that's the consequence she's talking about.
I'm just saying that sorry to interrupt you. I'm just saying that our case is peculiar as Nigerians.
Because of laws.
Apart from the laws not really favoring us. Look at the example. You said a man lost his presidency because he was caught with another woman outside. If a Nigerian president is caught with another woman, would it affect his chances of winning? Of course not.
There are no.
So I'm saying that when you compare, we are comparing to our own peculiar situation here in Nigeria.
I totally agree that in Nigeria, the laws are not helping.
The laws don't help.
And it's not in this side chick issue alone. It's in everything. I mean, nobody's accountable.
This side chick is more. Nobody can take you to court for having a side chick, and nobody can take it. Even if haven't you seen where some people come out and say financial abuse, that you even get a woman pregnant and you don't even want to take care of the child. The woman has to start running helter-skelter. Nobody will still answer her. There are no laws, and that's why
there are no laws, and I think that's why
just
it's so prevalent.
take it this way. I always tell people, the meaning of respect is how much you can hide. Perfection is how much you can cover. Nobody is. So that man that you're thinking is faithful to you is a man that is being careful. I have a client who
but that's good enough.
I have a client who told me he has cheated for 15 years.
With the same woman?
Different
women, okay.
But his wife can vouch with her life. I told him, how do you do it? He says he controls it. He doesn't date anybody in Abuja because he's based in Abuja. If he wants to do those things, he do it outside. And he gives you instruction. I am married. Do not call me by this time. Do not. Now,
exactly.
The point now, what hurts me with the men is only, I beg, like when they come sometimes for counseling, I tell them, can you at least accord your wife
the respect that she deserves?
Finish. I'm not saying you should not do it. There are lots of people that are cheating, that you tell that they are cheating, you will scream. But because of the kind of respect, the kind of position you are in, you will do it. Respect. If we don't catch you, you are not doing it.
I am not guilty until you're
caught.
Because I think that it might come across as, oh, we women are enabling the men, but the reality on ground is that if this is what the situation is on ground, really, at the end of the day, what a woman wants, to use respect and infidelity in the same sentence is a bit weird. But we are under weird circumstances. We're not dealing with circumstances like in England or America where you can sue for half. So, like you were saying now, I don't believe that the average woman, having invested in her marriage with children involved, should leave her husband because of another woman, especially if it's a girlfriend or a side chick. I don't believe that she should. I believe she should fight to save that marriage.
Hey, ma'am, no. If I catch you, I'm leaving.
As in, if you, the woman, catch the man? Personally.
Sometimes people
how
come
easy
to me,
is it to leave?
I've been married before and I'm divorced. I took a walk.
No, but a lot of women have been married to their husbands and they haven't left. Does that make them less? No,
that's why I said everybody have different capacity of what they can take.
It comes back to the person, to the personality. Some women will stay. I have people who are staying for 6 months. I have people who are staying until they get to Canada. You understand? We have people who would leave immediately.
They will leave as soon as they get to
stay for different reasons. No, please permit me to finish what I said. I teach a lot of these things, so I need to create that balance. When the guy stepped down from the campaign train, and then 2 people from the University of Yale started to wonder, how can a man be so smart and yet so stupid? You would have become the president of America, but because of a lady, you couldn't control yourself. And they did all of that research, and that research went to the fact that there's something called the smartness of emotion. That's how emotional intelligence started.
Okay.
So let's give it to this. I wanted to say, let's give it to the side chick. But the entire research that brought about the concept of emotional intelligence was because a man couldn't control himself, with his side chick, and he lost the bid to become a president. So these things are not new, right? But I would agree that in Nigeria, it could be prevalent, like everything because our laws are not working.
I want to ask you one question. Why do men never leave?
Never leave.
Nigerian men are supposed to be the most prevalent adulterers.
Promiscuous and all of that.
They are supposed to be extremely excessive when it comes to outside entertainment or outside dalliances. But why do they never leave their wives? They come, you find the ones that will tell you, oh, she doesn't understand me. Oh, she's fat. Oh, she has become boring. Oh, da 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 da. And then, of course, the side chick is exciting them, or the mistress is exciting them, because they always put on their A game when with their side chick or their mistresses. You're not with him when he has dysentery. You're not with him when he's vomiting. You're not with him when he's going through an incurable illness. You're not with him in the bathroom when he's doing number 2. I mean, marriage, there's a lot more to marriage than sex or than physical compatibility. So why don't they leave this supposed boring wife that doesn't understand them, that does this, that does that? Why don't they leave for the side chick outside?
There are so many things invested in the marriage, irrespective of the attraction on the outside. Children are already invested, right? Time of building that home is already invested, right? There's so many things the wife can manage and take that if you try with the side chick, she's gone to another man. So with the side chick or the mistress, she still has option. Okay, so the man would stay with the woman, you know, the woman of his youth, right? That understands, that is ready to sacrifice everything. And somewhere in the depth of the man's head, what this woman can take from me, and what this woman is building from me, the mistakes this woman will take from me, the side chick would not take it. Number one. Number two, culture. Everyone wants a home, no matter what it is, right? But there are men that leave. There are men that have walked away. I've met people who, I've met children who says, I was talking to like a 20 years old that works in the company recently, and he drove with me in the car. We're going to drop in the bus stop. Say, how are you doing? Just to chat with him as a staff. And how's your mom? And I saw he was talking about his mom. I said, what about your dad? He said he walked away. He walked away when we were like 9. So some men actually walk away. But I would say that a man that walks away with a side chick, right, has his own decision. He made it out of his own choices. Okay? I don't believe that at the end of the day, a side chick can take a man out of a house against his own volition. No.
What's your take on that?
Let me land it. I believe that a man that doesn't know what he wants, or that is weak, there are weak men, right, can be taken away, right? A man is not a property that people take. There are weak men and there are strong men. There are wise men and there are foolish men. From one of these men, there are those that a side chick can take away.
But it might not necessarily be a sign of weakness. It might be that the man genuinely wants to leave.
That's why I said some leave. They leave because they want to leave, not because the side chick took them.
No, that's what I'm saying. That some men will not leave unless there's something to live for. Do you understand?
Yep.
If there's a side chick that is giving them more happiness, that is giving them more, making them happier, they might decide that, you know what, how much more do I have to live? I'm a certain age and I'm looking for my happiness. Damn it. They're in the minority. But some of them do leave.
Yeah.
Do you understand? What's your take on that? Listen. That's men, some men, it's not necessarily because they are weak, it's why they leave. Some of them is because they've decided to embrace what makes them happy, and if anything, is the guts that they have that allow them live for the side chick outside.
It takes us back to the same reason. A lot of people marry for the wrong reasons. A lot of people
No, but what about falling out of love? You might not necessarily have married for wrong reasons. You might have married and loved your spouse when you married her, and then you've just grown apart.
You can't grow apart, but if you guys have something that is rooted, it's just a misunderstanding. We can talk about it. He said something like having kids. So it'll be difficult for when you look at the children, you look at, but there are some times that these men, they've drifted away. You know, the reality of this whole
but this drifting, is fault of both parties though? Or is it the fault of the wife? And if so, what are the kind of things that wife do that make their husbands
either the fault of the wife or the fault of the husband?
No, but what kind of things do wives do, for instance, that can make husbands drift?
I'm a man, I can tell you.
Okay.
Right? If a woman refuses to constantly put herself in a situation where she will be wanted by the man, the man can drift away. I've had, if a woman, you see, the work of a woman in the house is so much that romance and what you wear at night, you know, and play and being excited and all of that is taken away.
After 30 years, you think that can be as rampant?
Yeah, not because she doesn't want to, because there's work. So there's so many things a woman will be doing at home that would make a man drift. In fact, the man can even look at her and just say, no, it's not even time to play. She's busy, taking care of things in the house, and he's just by himself. All of that work that unfortunately would make a man drift away, right? The side chick is not doing all of that work.
Okay, the mundane running of the home and what have you.
That's a lot of work for a woman.
This is.
But that work, the side chick doesn't have it. Now, a man can then decide that, no matter what, I'm going to stay. But some men, because...
So what makes them stay?
It now takes us back to the statement I made that brought me here. Now, he just said something. As a wife, there's a lot of things to be done. Take care of your husband, in-laws, children. There are lots of things to be done. Side chick don't do anything and just take care of the men.
Yes.
And that's why they are called side chicks. That's their job. That's what I tell them. Allow these women do their jobs. Face your marriage. Leave what is outside. Stay inside. Because if you go outside, they are doing a job for years. Because there are some times if you're a banker, you come back, you are tired.
So are you even saying that the side chicks sometimes will make the marriage in the house?
Yes, that's what keeps it. Because if there is no side chick, these men can't stay. They are the ones that cool these men down. When they're having misunderstanding with their wife, they are the ones that will go, the side chick will run back, he will drive back home. But if there is nowhere to go, this man will walk out. That's the truth. We need to give I'm being realistic, we need to give a lot of side chicks accolade. Because a lot of women, when women marry, they feel like, I'm there already. They lose themselves. They feel relaxed. There are some certain things they feel I've overgrown. I used to tell most of my clients that come, I used to tell them it's over maturity that kills your marriage. You start feeling, I'm too big to do this. This man has to be your friend. That's what attracts these men to these young girls. Those small, little, it's not money. So most times I tell the wife, sit up, stop being too gym. Stop being too uptight, mommy Gio. Sit, talk to your husband, except there will always be that beautiful girl. And if the girl is intelligent, outspoken, have what it takes, the man will walk and not look back.
Can we create a balance and speak to the men?
Exactly.
I think that's very important. So that we're not establishing. I love the reality part of it, but there's also always going to be the ideal. Can we also speak to the men?
Yeah.
Okay, man, you need to also realize that your wife can no longer, or does not have time, or does not have capacity.
Exactly.
Men, you need to realize that the belly fat you're seeing is as a result of your children. And if your side chick had given birth to the same children, 27 months of pregnancy, she probably would have the belly fat. So you have to respect that. We need to establish that fact. You understand? Men, do not allow the weakness, the lack of time of your wife be the reason
why you're leaving
if
her.
You want to be promiscuous as a man, be and suffer the consequence. Stop saying that it is because of the woman. I know there's a reality to that, but I know that at the end of this, we want to take something away that helps the society. Is that the goal?
Another thing, yes, of course, that's the goal. Another thing that's that men take it for granted that once a woman is a wife, she's had your children.
Yeah.
You've taken that just because you don't find her attractive. Other people,
and I have a perfect example for that.
Please,
yeah.
Other people also find her attractive.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the same reasons why you're leaving your wife to go out to look for somebody else, this same wife can be being admired by somebody else who can give her the attention husband is not giving her. So I think more time.
The reverse of what Blessing said is, as a man, when you now get married, before you got married, you used to buy her things. You used to surprise her. You used to take her out. Now you're married, you don't do all those things anymore. A man came to me and said, before we got married, my wife used to she used to be very active in sex. But now she's not anymore. She lied to me. And by the time I spoke with the wife, guess what? The wife said it was the things that he used to do that used to get me into the action.
Yeah, but after 20,
he stopped
30 years of marriage, how often can this happen? It's a tough task.
So marriage is work.
Trying to maintain that sexuality in marriages. Yeah. Trying to maintain the excitement and the whatever.
But that's why you married. That's why they have to do the work. Somebody asked me one day, I asked my mom one day, why did you marry? Give me the basic reason why you married my father. She said, he's handsome. And my father cannot tell her sorry and she will not agree. So there are some people you love. You guys are friends.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Doesn't love and friendship transcend sexuality?
A lot of marriages don't have it. I'm taking you back. They married for money. They married their grandfathers. They married for biological clock. That's what they have to face.
Okay, so you're saying that those who do not have that solid foundation
Yes.
of friendship, of compatibility.
Some people don't know their partners. They are strangers. A lot of them
But
are married.
people also drift apart though, don't you think?
It can be worked on. Drifting apart is the easiest one.
But is it possible for men, especially since it's them we're talking about now, is it possible for men to fall back in love with their wives if they have been through something horrible with the side chick outside or the mistresses outside?
Very,
Yes.
very possible.
Women are emotional beings. That just
Very possible.
sometimes
about the men
The man-
falling back in
the
love
man, very
with
possible.
their wives.
It's possible.
very
when they've gone through.
the way is the way you handle
It's very
it.
possible.
Is where who handles it?
The woman handles it. If I see that my husband has a side chick, or I won't even talk. The only thing I will do is I will ignore him. Cheating is sweet when there is somebody chasing you up and down, scrolling through your phone, checking your pockets. If I'm so busy flying everywhere to do courses and keeping myself busy, you would learn to respect yourself. You don't force discipline on people. Some men, I said it before, a man can cheat on you over and over again, but he loves you so much. Why? A lot of men don't have discipline. Society did not teach them. They groomed us more. We the women were the one they taught how to cook soup. It's only the intelligent ones who are well traveled and exposed that understands what it takes to keep a. And what about the worst people that have one wife? Tony Elumelu them. They are disciplined men. It's because they're exposed. Then you see a common Igbo man telling you, a man on with one, man on with Igbo.
What does that mean?
I cannot stay with this one, I cannot stay with that one. So it's discipline. Fidelity is hard. I used to tell a lot of women when they come, when you get married, find your husband's weaknesses and help him with it. Some men, their weakness are women.
Okay, so how do you help your husband? If his weakness is his women, how do you help him?
Make
with
him
that?
your friend. Start to do those things that he like. A lot of women, once they get married, they become rigid.
Oh, okay.
Just to add to what you said, because you said some
We're rounding
men,
up soon, so let's
some
just
men can
finish up with
change.
you.
Apart from what she said, there are men who would get a jolt, who would regret their action, who would hear something in a session, and then decide that, you know what, I have to work this out. And they start doing the things they used to do before, and they can fall in love again.
Okay.
So let me interrupt you. By then,
Yeah.
the woman has outgrown that thing.
Yeah, but
When you met me in my 20s, I used to like ice cream. So if you want to bring me back in my 30s, I have something else. I've grown.
Yeah, but that's why it's your husband.
he'll
You will
find-
learn
he'll
and
find
find
out
out what
that
it is
it's
that makes you
possible.
tick.
People don't even communicate in the marriage.
No, I don't think it's all that bad. But I think because otherwise marriages will not last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. They must find a middle ground.
And they're
somewhere.
lasting that.
How many
that
20
long.
years, 50 years do we have now in this Gen Z generation?
Now Gen Z,
Our own are 2 weeks.
Anyway, as usual, we don't have enough time. Thank you so much, Blessing.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Naharo, for being with us today. And this is a topic that I really wish we had a much longer time to discuss. But I hope that anybody watching would have learned one or two things from the reality bites that we've exchanged today. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Your
Thank you.
perspectives. If someone is willing to cheat with you, they will one fine day cheat on you. As much as you hate to admit it, you're not the exception to the rule. A man who marries his mistress always creates a vacancy in that position. Relationships are sweet when it's full of excitement and thrills. But when push comes to shove, no matter how enthralling it is at the time, when it comes to their wives, men rarely throw the baby away with the bathwater. They're not prepared to make such sacrifices, no matter how carried away they get with the woman outside. Instead, they enjoy the ride from both ends and stick to the status quo, simply because they can get away with it. And you men out there, I hope you learned one or two things from Blessing's analysis and take a cue from her advice, as well as with Enahoro. So thank you so much for being with us today. You've been watching Perspectives here on Arise News with me, Ruth Osimhen. See you next week.